So, what is it that you're looking for? When you come to India, when you come to these talks, or when you do yoga, or a cacao ceremony, or you spend your money on nice clothes, or jewelry, or you do your hair in curls. What is it that you're really looking for in life? Like, in all of the actions that you do, are you aware of what your motivation is? Like, what is it that you're trying to get to? And this isn't a bad thing, understanding your motivation. It's a beautiful thing to understand motivation. Sometimes we're taught in the West, bizarre concept that you're not allowed motivation. Or even in spirituality, that all motivation has got to be so selfless or altruistic. So why is it that you come? When I first started practicing Buddhism many moons ago, like 17 or 18 now, 19. Yes, thank you. I've ordered a coffee, excuse me. And actually a chai latte maybe, something. Thank you, sorry, just here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Oh, thank you. Sweet. So many moons ago, like 17 moons ago, which is a lot for some of you if you're very young, and if you're very old, then that's not many at all. Like, that's nothing, 17 moons. So many moons ago, when I started Buddhism, I did want it to end my suffering. I liked that. I wanted to walk through walls. I wanted to go back in time and meet the Buddha. This is what they promised me in the Buddhist books. And I wanted to have like telepathic abilities. I thought this was super cool. Actually, I just wanted to be some version of Shira with these huge boobs, you know, like costume, like some version of Shira would have suited me. You might only have to be English or American to know Shira. Shira's like He-Man, but the female version. Like da 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 da. Then when I got into Buddhism, I liked the idea of being different from my parents. My parents were very successful. They were both computer programmers. My mum, she's a tiny lady, and she was a computer programmer in the 60s. And this is like quite a big deal in England. Like, women were allowed to be secretaries, basically, and she managed to be a computer programmer. And I wanted to be something different. I liked the clothes they wore. I liked the idea of, like, these malas. I liked the Buddhist clothes and the Buddhist look. And I liked the idea of end of suffering and being some type of superhero. But I don't think I could have omitted that. Like, on the surface, I would have been like, I want world peace. Or I want freedom for everybody. But deep down, those were my kind of motivations. I like this, like in 2001, like the Eastern idea was still very fashionable, and I liked it, and it was alternative, and it fitted in with like my hippie image that I had, and it was different from my parents, and the idea of the end of suffering, or the end of world suffering, or world peace felt great. And then as I went on in the spiritual path, so it started out very grand, I think my wants got a lot simpler. And eventually, when I met Ramesh Balsekar in 2006, I was quite okay to accept that I just wanted happiness in daily living. So from Shira down to happiness, I was like, okay, we'll take happiness. I'm all right to take that. I'll take happiness. That's enough. Just to enjoy life is enough. Forget about the other things. And as it went on, I think I even gave up the idea of happiness. Like, it went on and it got even more simpler and more simpler. I was like, okay, we'll leave that one. Love, we'll leave that one. All these sort of ideas that I went to leave. And then eventually I got to, this is enough. This is enough. And that's what I always had. But I didn't know that I had such a gift. Like, All these ideas of walking through walls and going back in time and speaking to the Buddha and wearing these spiritual clothes and jewelry and looking Indian. This was really great idea and fantasy and like a child like wanting to play. But then eventually after all these sort of steps down, I was like, this is really quite spectacular as it is. And this is enough. And these other ideas diminished as my ideas diminished of what should be, of what could be, of what's going to be. And just simply the sound of the birds, the colour. I know to some this might be like, oh, but it's really spectacular. We have a gift here that we stop seeing because we're always looking for something else, something better than this. And we fail, or we become blinded to the magic that's right here. Like, this is really magical. Like, this is appearing and we don't know why it's appearing. We're like, well, it's appearing because of God, or it's appearing because I arrived here and I saw a poster and I decided that I would come and listen to this talk, or Harold convinced me to come. Now I want to kill Harold. Whatever reason it is, this didn't happen because of that. It didn't happen because of the past. That's your idea now. That actually kills the magic of this. Have you ever arrived from the past into the present? Have you actually ever held on to the past? Have you ever came from the past into this moment? Have you ever gone into the future? Have you ever held time? Or have you always only been here in this? And if it doesn't arrive from the past, if this moment isn't a product of the past, then really it's quite spectacular, because we don't know why the hell it's happening, why we're alive, or where we're going. And that changes things, because then you get to see the magic that's here. There is a magic that's here. Look at all this colour. We don't know how we're seeing this colour, but yet it's appearing. We don't know how we're hearing these birds, but yet it's appearing. We don't know how we're feeling these cushions, but yet it's appearing. We don't know how we're listening to Lisa, but it's appearing. We don't even know how we're understanding. We have a story about it. We're understanding because we've learned and we've grown the brain and we understand English and we spent time learning language and our parents taught us language. But is that true right now? Is that a fact right now? Like right now, is this a result of the past, or is this a result of the moment? If this is a result of the moment, then it's magic. If this is a result of the past, then it's flattened. Life is flattened. So in Buddhism, the deepest teaching that you can get in Buddhism, I love Buddhism, but the deepest teaching they have is in the Heart Sutra. It's beautiful. Oh, well, this is just personal opinion. This isn't fact. Like, everyone argues about these things, so I'm saying it as if it's fact. It's just opinion. So the Heart Sutra is super profound, and in the Heart Sutra it has this paragraph. I'm never very good at quoting it, but it goes something like, it's talking about the truth of reality, and basically it goes through, the truth of reality isn't your eyes, isn't your ears, isn't your thoughts, isn't, what other senses do we have? Your feelings, isn't your smell, isn't even your consciousness. The truth of reality is that everything is empty and full simultaneously. And this is the same as non-duality. If you study non-duality, they both come down to these fundamental truths, that this is empty and full right now. And what it's trying to point to is this isn't appearance because of time. Time appears here. Space appears here. This is an appearance of itself. And if it's an appearance of itself, it means that it's not a divided reality. If this is appearing from the now, like Eckhart Tolle would say, if this is appearing from this, then it's not a divided reality. It's appearing from itself. Where else could it appear from? So the sounds are appearing from itself. My movements, my speaking is appearing from my ultimate self, right here, right now. In Buddhist language, you would say nothing or emptiness. And that emptiness is everything. So my sounds are not appearing from Lisa that learned in the past. They're appearing spontaneously from now. And this, to me, is true love. This is love. That this appears from this. So as Nisargadatta would say, I have to remember the quotes. I am that I am. There's another quote that he says that I forgot. Alanga?
Nothing is the...
What's the one where I am that... No, I am that I am. Or the other one that he says, which is very beautiful, is to know emptiness or to know nothing is wisdom. To know everything is love. And in between my life resides. It's beautiful. And it's quite mysterious. When I first started hearing the Heart Sutra, I was like 19, 20, and we used to have to chant it. I thought, well, no, I had no idea what it meant, but my heart sung as the words were spoken. And so you might have the same feeling, like, I have no idea what this woman's on, but there's something in your heart that's like, there's something here that I know beyond her, that I know beyond someone giving me, that I know beyond time, that I know beyond learning, that's always been here. And I've been looking for it in everything. I've been looking for it in the Indian clothes, in coming to this talk, in coming to India, in the jewelry, in the music, in the lovers, in the, what else? Money, success. I've been looking for that. I know that. So there's lots we can talk about. I am happy to help you with personal problems. Over the 17 or 18 years of this subject, I've become quite wise at dealing with personal problems. And I'm also happy to talk about non-duality as well. I categorize them as two different things because in the end, who gets to non-duality? So if I'm working with your personal problem in your life, so if I'm working with your dynamics or your karma, who is it that then arrives at enlightenment or freedom? So I categorize them different because I don't see somebody that wakes up. And working with your problems is working with the somebody. And I'm not against or opposed to that. We have to tidy the person or tidy the karma. But it's not the karma that wakes up, because ultimately there is nobody sitting here. If there was somebody sitting here, there would be a separate reality. There would be division. This wouldn't be a world of wholeness. It would be a world of separateness. Wow. That is good. Promotion for the place. You can get that downstairs. Maybe tomorrow I get it free.